Hey, it's Rob here. Welcome to the video. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We are actually going to put a little bit of this Cybot 290 drone together. So we have the parts we've made so far. This is what we've made so far. Doesn't seem like that much for all that work, does it? So what we're going to do is we're actually going to mount this DJI O3 Air unit. The only thing I've done so far is the screws have been removed off the bottom of this O3 Air unit, so be careful because this will come up and off pretty easily. So the first thing we do is grab the bottom plate, have a little look at where the USB port sits, flip it over, and let's just try to basically line up the holes here and put a little bit of heatsink grease on here. You want enough that you know it's going to make a thermal connection, but not so much that it squishes out. This stuff is super nasty and it gets everywhere. So we just, for the time being, take this off. Some people like to just put a blob in the middle and let it squish to where it will squish to. I think that is good. The USB port is on this side. So this goes on here like this. This thing sits inside. Might be a little too much. You don't want to get too close to the edges because it will squish when you tighten it up. Okay, and I will deal with this later. So the next thing that you do is it makes no difference at all how you put this. So just for the time being, I wasn't supposed to have to put that down in the middle of this, but we have these M1.6 bolts that need a washer on them. Okay, those are ready. So what we're going to do, we'll just start by putting one of these through and then putting it through the hole here. Then we try to find the hole Okay, so that's good. That's good. We found one so far. Okay, hold on, something's not right here. That is definitely not good. Get out. There. And you're not going in. Now you're going in. 2. 3. Let go. This thing gets a death grip on these for some reason. The last one. Okay, then you just want to snug these up. If you come to the end and you're worried that your bolts are too long, do not force it to go in deeper, because we do not know what is inside of this O3 air unit, and I'm not spending my time taking it apart to find out. These are M1.6 times 10, and I'm using 1 washer, and it's working out just perfect. And then you don't over tighten them either. You just keep going around in a circle like we're going. And then if they are all the same tightness, then you're done. And what we can do, just to check, is put your fingernail and see if there's any room, and there's not, it's all solid. Okay. So there we have the O3 air unit mounted inside of the bottom plate and thermally coupled to this. Makes a wonderful heat sink. I had this thing sitting with no propellers on it for 15 minutes solid with no airflow to it whatsoever, and it didn't kick out. So then let's go ahead and just see what it's going to look like here with the arms on it. I think what we're going to do, just for the time being, until we have the arms in here, the first time, just loosen these up a little bit until they are just not tight anymore. Okay. And that will allow this plate to move just a tiny bit. Yeah, see, that goes through now. Oh, that is so snug. If it is a bit snug, don't drill it unless you really have to, because you just are going to induce play into the arms. Get off. Yeah, see, that's okay. Just needs a tiny bit of convincing. Okay, so here's what we're going to do before we put the arms on. We have 4 bolts here. This is for the mount, the stack. Or I should invest in a rotary tool of some kind to make this go a little quicker, probably. If you have to take this thing apart a couple of times, you'll find this is going to loosen up. But I don't think it's a good idea to have everything so that it just all falls in. Really keep it nice and snug. The countersink bolts will take up a lot of the lateral forces, as opposed to just the shaft of the bolt going through the hole. It's already getting looser and looser. Some of this is kind of tedious work. I'm sure you'll find out as you're making it. Oh, this is what, yeah, this is the right one, yeah. Okay. There's the stack mount. These bolts are nice and flush. They actually are just a touch deeper than they need to be, but they're almost perfect. The outside hole, and this is the right one on the right, so okay, and just to hold this in place for now, one of these. Okay, same thing again here. That's good. Okay, there's that one. This one's already loose enough that it slides in. Before I tighten up the O3 air unit, I do want to at least get at least these other bolt holes in here. Oh, well, I didn't put this together right, but this is just for demonstration anyway. This wire is supposed to come through the inside, and then they go through there and there, but that's okay. This is just to give you guys an idea how of something tangible, because we've been doing nothing but cutting parts. The first time is definitely the hardest on this. There is no play. Just trying to make sure I'm not fighting against the wall of the pipe. Yes, so all of this will have to come apart. But we can still do what we want to do with it, which is stick the aluminum heatsink down on top of this. Just try not to smack the camera around too much. I'm not going to put the nuts on these. Oh, and there you have it. And you guys keep in mind, this is a 7-inch frame. 290 millimeter 7-inch frame. And solid as a tank. This thing is just like a tank. So the next thing, so this will give you, guys, I'm not sure which one's going to get the best view of this. This one will give you an idea of how the DJI Air unit actually mounts in here. And you can see where the slot was milled out for the USB port to fit in. Now that it's together, we can go ahead and snug this up. Just do a little bit on each corner. You gotta be really gentle with this. Eventually I'm gonna take these bolts out and put some some blue Loctite on it. Just to snug and no more. That's it. Just looking to see if I can see any of the heatsink compound squishing out a bit, and I do believe there is some. Okay, now so just full disclosure, on the last video when I milled the aluminum parts, I was trying to figure out why these holes were bigger than what I thought they were, and turns out that I didn't read my notes properly because it wasn't a 2mm micro 100 end mill. It was actually a Harvey 1.575 or something. Yeah, so when I used that wrong flat end mill to mill it, it made all the holes bigger than what they should have been. So yesterday I redid this bottom plate over again so that it would be proper. And I also redid the top because I didn't have it centered properly. So these are both new parts. So now what we're going to do is just see how, now you can see how this fits inside of here. And then the fan mounts on top of here to blow down on top of that. So that is it. I'm going to call it for today. The only thing left to do for this is put some of the thermally conductive tape on here, peel it, and drop it in here and press it down on top of the DJI O3 Air unit. And then it's done. It can come apart again. And then these have to go through the proper way. But so there you have it. All this time that we spent milling, and we actually have something to show for it at this point. So next time, what are we doing next time again now? Accessories parts. Next time we'll go over the accessories parts, and that's going to be a longer video because there's a number of parts that make up the camera mount. You'll see all that when I do the next video. It's coming. It's coming. There's going to be a lot of work yet because we got to wire the whole thing, and then really, if we're going to do it to the point of its completion, there's a setup for the iNav as well that can take quite a while to do. So anyway, as far as the mechanical parts, we have accessories parts, we have the dome, and we have a dome retaining ring. And as far as the manufacturing of the actual parts, that's all of them. So it's coming along quite nicely. So hopefully some of you guys, I don't know, I think this is really cool. And I put a lot of time and effort into, and revisions into making this thing look how it does. Drones, most of the drones that I see out there are just carbon fiber and 3D printed looking things that don't have any character. This thing has got a ton of character, and like all of my drones that I try to do here have a ton of character, and I've got lots of plans for stuff to come too. So hopefully you'll get something out of this video. If you are getting something out of it, then feel free to put a like on it. And other than that, I hope you guys are all doing great and have a super great day. And we'll talk to you later. Bye.